Welcome back to the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. I'm your host, Terrence. We're going to do a dive into modern love and relationships, navigating relationships with kids. So that's if you don't have kids, looking for kids.
Right.
So, I mean, there's all aspects of dating when it comes to kids. If you don't have them or if you do, maybe a love after marriage and so there's so many different aspects to that. So we're going to do a deep dive into navigating love and when dealing with kids, regardless of what side of that fence that you're on. So we'll be right back. Welcome to the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. And welcome back to the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. I'm your host, Terrence Wright, your entrepreneur, your actor, motivator, You Rise founder, and member of the Salt and Pepper Gang.
And I am Big L, of course, ex-professional athlete, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, if you want to say. You pretty much name it, I'll dabble in it. Building, singing. If it's there, I'll try it.
He does it all, one-man band.
Yes. I got 19 jobs.
What you be talking about, man? I got 10 jobs.
I got 19.
You're not working hard enough.
Already. You need one more job.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So this episode of the Black Exchange, we're actually talking about navigating love in 2023 when dealing with parenting, dealing with kids, and man, so I know you probably got a plethora of different stories, so I'm gonna let you take this one off and
right off the bat.
Right off the bat, what you got?
I'll say something that a lot of people won't probably indulge in, and it's how do you approach a marriage or a relationship with having kids. I was married at one time, and I dealt with a woman that had 5 kids. Loved every single one of them. No hard feelings. Never used that against anyone. I think it's why should I use the person's situation or their past against what it is now? So no, never had an issue with that. But I always look at the reality of can that person still bring you love? Can that person still love you as much without giving the majority of their love to the kids and not giving you any? Right. So you have to look at it on both sides and say, man, listen. That conversation goes right back to communication. We got to sit down and talk about this. Is this something that you really want to do? Because I thought when I met that person that she literally said, I got 5 kids.
Right.
So you either choose me or and let's try.
And but that's the truth. It should be all or nothing.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful when make sure there's not an agenda behind those.
But that's what dating is for. You get to know them, and then eventually when that person feels comfortable bringing you around their kids, and it might be 8 months, it might be a year. We don't know how long, but it's the comfort zone of knowing that you don't have a background that you can look at that person's kids and embrace them the same way that person need to embrace yours. So you have to look at it as when you go into the dating thing to have the conversations about, hey, how do you feel about having to do the responsibilities that you don't have with your own kids? So.
Right. Or even being in a situation where, maybe the father of the kid's still in the picture, dealing with that dynamic. Sometimes that's a good co-parenting situation there. And then I've also, been in situations where that can be very volatile and play a significant part into trying to date somebody who, has a partner who they have some issues with that aren't really resolved.
And they got some insecure men who can't see other men around their children. So you have to not only embrace that, but that person who had the kids with that, your significant other has to talk to that person and say, listen, I'm bringing this person into my life. I love them, or whatever the situation is, and y'all have to sit down and talk to them together. Some people can't do that. I've had men that can't accept me being around their kids. But once they see how I am around their kids, man, it changed. They were like, "Oh, you're a good dude, brother." Like, yeah.
But see, that's also the problem with being a good dude, because you like me, and when you love kids and you genuinely like to, have conversations with them and pick their brain and kind of see where their headspace is at. Right. that sometimes puts you in a difficult position because you know there's an attachment that can come with that on both sides. You know, and sometimes that can be used against you.
Man, and you know, relating to that story, I've adopted kids and love on them just as hard. So I don't discriminate when it comes to other people's world lifestyle.
Right.
One of those kids that I adopted lost his father. I thought it was the best opportunity for me to step in as a man and hold down the responsibility. Yeah. Man, it worked out well. And you know that it made you feel good when you bring that child in front of the judge and say, "What do you want your name to be?" Yeah. And they said, "I want my name to be Ryan." You know, it's blah 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 blah. So you like, wow,
yeah,
like,
they get you right with the old heart.
Yeah,
right.
I did one, I got one. You know, but at the end of the day, men have to do that more. You want, and then as soon as the relationship ends, this is what most men do. I say, when the last time you called your kids and just say happy birthday? Yeah. You raised them. But some women don't allow you to have
you right. There can be bitterness on both sides. Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, you at least from, you know, being a guy, you hear from a guy's perspective on, you know, sometimes that broken relationship has so much
tied
it has so much tied to it that even after the breakup there's a super long healing process that, you know, they may or may not get over.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something to also think about. Also,
man, I got so many stories behind that stuff, man. So when it come to kids, so
so I mean,
golly, that's
wow.
Tough.
I mean, where to begin? So I guess it kind of begins with starting off with that first initial date when you meet somebody, you don't know if they have kids or not. And you're like, okay, they're nice looking. Conversation seems, you know, on the up and up so far. You know, not too many red flags or none, hopefully. Right. And you know, do you have kids? Right. So do you have a preference?
No, I don't. Never have.
Okay.
Never have. I don't know about other people. Some people say, well, if he got more than 2 kids, I ain't doing it because I ain't raising nobody else's kid. I ain't doing that stuff.
Right.
But what if you really have a general lovable connection with that person? It's like, hey, before I even go any further, you know I have 6 kids. You know, what do you say? It's like, oh, but I'm sorry, I can't date you no more. Like,
you got to put that out there. So I always say for the people that, you know, that hesitate to, hey, I got 5 kids or you got 6 kids, whatever your situation is, you know, don't hesitate to put that out there. And maybe that's not the thing you want to go bragging about, or you might feel some type of way about that. But, you know, at least you're going to be genuine. And whatever happens from that point, that you let that person know the honest truth, then let
that person make the decision. Right. You know, tell them
allow them to make that decision, and if you move forward on it, you know, it may blossom to something great.
Yeah. I'm in it, man. That's it. Like I said, I got a lot to talk about when it comes to that. So the good, the bad, the birthdays, the bringing the kids together, blended families, everything that we talk about. How do those kids get along if they're around the same age range? Man, they got so many
punishing kids. That's a whole nother aspect there. Man, that's tough. You know, being in a relationship, and you know, some men and women. Yeah. So that's not, you know, tied to one or both. But you know, there's some bad kids out there. Man. Some badass kids. Some bad kids, man. Bad. Man, there's some bad kids.
You know
out
what?
There.
I brag on mine because of the fact that I've never had any kids that I raised and had to put my hands on. Yeah. So the one thing I can say is I've never been around. I can have the sit down talk, right, and say, listen, come on now, we got to make better decisions.
Yeah, let's have a pimp conversation. Absolutely. And you know, I think there's a lack of those kind of conversations. Now, granted, I'm not a parent, but you know, I've dated women with kids. I've, you know, mentored kids, being in the boxing gym. Young adults, men.
Even what we do now, you know, mentoring kids and stuff like that, man. We don't know, you know, the situation that's dealing with those kids. We don't know what the parent. That's why most of these parents bring those kids to us. Man, they need a male figure. Right. They need,
because it's going to be a different kind of conversation. Yep. And unfortunately, you know, there's a lot of young men out there, young ladies out there also who kind of need that male conversation to kind of give them different perspective. Some of them are yearning for it. Some of them don't even know that they need it. So it can be rough.
And again, I would encourage women. I'm speaking up on a man. Have the conversation with those parents or the fathers of those the person that you're dating, and see how they react to it. If they can't, then you got to man up. Are you gonna choose to not be happy because of that person, or are you gonna choose to be single word about what that man think about what he think about your child or whatever? I ain't doing that. Listen, tell me if you got 4 or 5. Let me make that choice. And then at the end of the day, let me meet the father. Let them see that they have a man that's gonna be there to raise those children or child or
that wants to
around.
participate.
Yeah, come on, I want to be around.
So yes, please pick somebody that wants to participate in that package deal. Me personally, I grew up pretty much as an only child till I was 15, and I had a stepdad that I felt like was just the dude on the couch.
Really?
Yeah. So, and that was from the age of 6 on to I don't think they got a divorce till I was out the house already. But I remember, going to games and feeling like, who gonna show up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was a point in time where I kind of felt like maybe I was missing out because of that dynamic with that relationship where, sometimes you can be so caught up in that person that you're with that, maybe you don't put as much energy into, watching over the kids or showing up at the games or, just asking them how their day is and making sure that they're good mentally and, just on a good thought process. Because, sometimes it can be a lot, and a lot of times I know, as a kid, you don't really express everything all the time. A lot of times you're gonna keep it to yourself. So you got to, hopefully you got somebody in your life that's gonna reach out and kind of, pick your brain and,
I'm one of those too.
You got to be careful when you're getting into those relationships. Make sure that you're with somebody who wants you to be a good parent, that wants to participate in that package deal of, hey, I'm not just dating this person, but I'm dating their child. Not dating their child, but
it's a package deal.
Right, you're a part of that. That's a relationship there too.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not meeting those kids right away, but at some point, that should be a significant part of the relationship.
Yeah.
So we have a question.
Uh-oh. What's the question?
No, I'm not married. So I'm not married. I don't have any kids.
Really, we talking about relationship, lady? No, I'm just.
But yeah,
man, that's tough, man. No, and it's not really tough. It's more of a what happens when, and even if that's that person I'm dating or marrying or whatever it is, they need to see that I'm a reflection of a great man to those girls.
Right.
So my girls, they know, don't touch your doors, don't pull your chair out. Daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? So when I bring that world or those children or girls to me, I was like, no, my girls know, don't touch doors.
Yeah.
So they be like, no, don't touch doors. My daddy's gonna do it.
Right.
So once they get to that world and they get older, it's like, you know what? There was one guy that used to open my doors, and Mr. Larry used to open my door all the time.
But you want your daughters to have that belief system so that when it comes around to, weeding out some of these
knuckleheads, go on say it.
Some of these trash dudes that
right.
Some of y'all ladies give passes to that should not be receiving passes. Right. Ladies, y'all should get your door open. Yeah, sure. Even if a guy's dating you and he comes over to your house and if you got a piece of a bag of trash just sitting by the door, right. That guy should be noticing that and picking that up and
fellas use that. Go take the trash out when they first. Hey, if they invite you to the house, man, go take the trash.
If you see the trash out, fellas, get you some brownie points. Take that trash out. You can. That goes a long way.
That really works, man. I ain't never look. I act like it's a whole big thing. It's heavy. It might be a bag this big. I don't care. I took the trash out. Fake it till you make it. Yeah. But it also shows the baby boy, hey, look, this man ain't never been here, and he's already taking the trash out. Junior, what you gonna do? Why won't you do that? Yeah. Or they see somebody say, okay, no, hey, come in for a second, little man. Come in for a second.
I cannot stand to see a woman that has kids and she's out there taking her own trash. She's out
mowing
there mowing the grass.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Like,
washing the car. Like what are you doing?
What
and the
going,
boy's sitting in the house.
Playing video games or
we can't whip
watching
your kids.
the TV. But
But we can't whip the kids. But we can't snatch them out the house.
Well, we can. Hey, we can give them a bunch of chores. If I can't whoop you to death, we gonna do chores till you want to die.
Absolutely. Nah, y'all, come on, let's do it together. Matter of fact, let's go run around the block. I ain't gonna make it, but I'm gonna make sure you run. Okay. Nah.
So, hey, we're about to our break time. We're gonna take a quick break, y'all. Again, this is the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. I'm your host, Terrence. We got Big L.
Big L, baby.
Oh, yeah. So, modern love, parenting, navigating relationships with kids in 2023. Man, there's so many aspects to this. Man. So, I mean, you this is a tough one. So, I hope this is something that maybe might help somebody else, but what happens when you're dating somebody and you see abuse in a relationship, and maybe you're seeing signs? What do you do?
You know what? Looking at it. What if you were invited to? I'll throw it at you. Invited to that person's home the first time, and they drop their kids off. Let's say it's Sunday. They drop the kids off on Sunday. They get the kids every other weekend.
Right.
And they drop off the son or the two daughters and the son, and he has a black eye.
Yeah.
What do we do as men? Now this is the first time we've been invited to this person's home. Do we react now? Do we have a conversation, or do we say, hey, don't put me in a situation to protect, because if I do that, then I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to address that, and I think it's more of a, do we need to sit down and talk about that? How long has this been going on? Is this something that need to be reported?
So that's my first initial thought. Like, I got questions. So if the kids walk around the corner and he's got a black eye, he's got bruises, my first thought is to ask questions. What's going on? What happened?
Right.
And I feel like my discernment's pretty good. Mm-hmm. But pay attention and don't just believe everything you hear if that's maybe something that you're on that side of. And then, if that is what you're getting, then you need to reach out to somebody. Maybe you don't feel comfortable calling the police, but maybe you should reach out to a counselor or reach out to somebody that does have experience dealing with those things. But definitely don't just keep that to yourself. There's too many times where just if somebody would have spoke up, it could have prevented something.
No. And what if that woman who you were dating now, took it out on a young man, a young boy, but was beating her too? That's why she's out of the relationship.
Right.
So again, we go right back to reporting. Say something, man. Don't be a person that's quiet. It's kind of hard to say now if it's happening in front of you. That's different.
Right.
Men, yes, address that. Be a man, doc. Say something about it. But if it's something that you've never seen before, yes, address it. Have the conversations. If it's a blended family, y'all have that table talk. Have the table talk.
Yeah.
Sit down in the living room and say something.
Talk to the kids seriously about, hey, has anybody touched you? Is anybody mistreating you? Especially if you got kids that are going to daycare, or maybe they got, even if it's your family. So sometimes it's usually the person that you might think is closest to you could be harming your children. So you really have to not just give people the benefit of the doubt just because they might be family. Right. You have to do your due diligence, make sure that you're checking up and paying attention and asking your kids questions. Please ask questions, because that's a huge aspect of just having those conversations and building that relationship, so that's an open platform.
Because I'm not gonna lie, if it's a situation that I'll sit in jail proud. I'm killing her with putting her. I'm sorry to say it like that, but don't touch my children. I have very great mannered kids. I don't have kids that talk back, curse. Now my kid, my oldest is 21, so she'll curse on the court and be like, "Hey, that's a bad call, ref." But when it comes to kids being mild mannered, they're gonna be yes sir and yes ma'am and no sir, no ma'am. So you don't have no reason to put your hands on my child. So, right. But when it comes to a relationship that you're getting to with somebody, that's tough.
So we're at an age that even if you're dating somebody and maybe they're doing something that you don't approve of, and you decide to take action and step in, that you very well may get in trouble for trying to help out.
Would you want to put that man in that type of habit?
That's a hard place to be in as a man, because there's a lot of responsibility and a lot of consequence that comes with being on the wrong side of trying to help out, discipline somebody. Right?
And here comes the damn if you do, damn if you don't. So damn if you do, because you didn't help me. You supposed to be my protector. And then when you stand back and say, "Why didn't you help me?"
Right.
It's like, I don't even know what's going on. I don't even know how do I approach that? What do you want me to? You want me to say something now? Because I don't know this guy. Do I need to introduce myself to make sure, like, hey, this is, let this be the last time, you put your hands on, because I don't.
Right. So I would feel like, me personally, if I see that, one, I'm gonna come to you and I'm gonna say, like, hey, I'm not sure what kind of things have been going on before I showed up.
Yeah.
But me as a man, I have a certain amount of respect for you and a respect for myself, and I can't let anybody overstep those boundaries and disrespect you in my presence.
There you go.
That's just my moral compass saying, hey, I can't keep my mouth closed. That's just not in my nature.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't feel that way. They're very standoffish. It's not my place. Well, to a certain point, if I can't speak up and say, hey, I feel some type of way about that, I'm not here to tell somebody what to do, but I'm gonna let you know how I feel and where I'm coming from. But I'm gonna say, hey, that's I'm not okay with that. Right. And if you want me to be here, then we have to sit down and have a conversation, even if it's all three of us, so that we can all be on the same page, so that we can all, treat each other with respect. Because I don't want to step in and I don't want to be an authority figure in that aspect. No dude wants to be that authority figure. At least they shouldn't, right? You don't want to go in feeling like that. But, if there is some things going on in the house and there is maybe some disrespect coming from the kids, because maybe there's that lack of that father figure, right? So a lot of times that may be what it be. Maybe there's a recent breakup or a divorce, so maybe there's some things going on that side. So that can be hard too, kind of dealing with that and trying to navigate, a breakup.
Yeah. So I'll go into the next thing, and this is hard for a lot of parents, new parents that going into the dating and relationship side. How do you handle disrespectful kids in a new relationship? Do you stay quiet? Do you pull them to the side? Do you not say anything? Do you expect the significant other or that parent to handle that? Or do you be the one to actually say something about and say, man, you got some, excuse me for saying, you got some badass kids. At the end of the day, it's like, how do you approach that? It's like, man, I would pinch in your throat. I'm finna karate chop this kid, man. You can say something.
I throw chops.
I'll give you a funny story. And it was just me playing with the kid. I was a supervisor at the Boys and Girls Club or something. Okay. And I picked one of the kids up, and I don't know if it was somebody I was dating at the time. I don't know what it was, but I picked the kid up. I'm like, yay! You know what I'm saying? They're playing with the kid. He had a pickle in his mouth or something.
Right.
And just spit the pickle on my head. I was like, really, bro? Like, he's like 3. Right. Kid was like, what do you say? He was like, dude,
he was 3.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years old. But my thing is, she didn't whoop me. Just like, boy. Go back on that side.
You can't whip the 3-year-old for spitting the pickle out on. Well,
there's one right in the throat, right here. I just would, But now it's tough when then they get around to 5 and 6, but they think that's cool at 2 and 3. How do you handle that? parents, women, you gonna say
Well, there
something.
got to be consequences. So if you start setting consequences early,
there you go.
And you're consistent with them, so that go back to being consistent in the things that you do. In your relationship with your kids, be consistent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
that's tough, man. It was just tough. It's funny now, but at the time, it's like, okay, is this kid gonna be disrespectful as time go on, or do you address this now and just make sure that kid doesn't look at it as, well, you're not my father, you're not my dad, so you can't tell me nothing. And it was like, boy,
man, I will say so. I met my stepdad, my mom, and him started dating when I was 6. Okay. And starting off, I did not like the dude, right? So
just how he look, well, just what?
I mean, he tried to play some PlayStation with me a couple times, but
how did that work? He beat you, didn't he? That's why you was mad at him. He beat you?
I don't remember if he beat me, but I didn't really like the dude. I wasn't that nice to him. I remember we went to the beach and I was throwing sand at him on purpose.
See, you was one of them kids, huh?
But I also felt like after all them years, he was around till I was, from 6 to
18, 19. Till
I was out the house and did military.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say the only thing that dude ever taught me was how to drive a stick. That's it. And all them years, so it didn't teach me about no girls, no finances, no relationship, not cooking, because he couldn't. I don't remember him cooking. Yep. My mom could cook.
Yeah.
But so I love to cook. I'm good with my hands, but it's not because he contributed anything after all those years, ladies, that, make sure you're getting with somebody who is going to contribute to the relationship when your kids are involved also. Not just you, that's great to have a provider. That's great to have somebody who's affectionate with you, right, and feels that loneliness that some people may have, or just that they're a great guy in your relationship. Make sure that they're also that great guy in the relationship when it comes to your kids as well.
And it's a total package, lady. You can't. You got to be able to accept all that. That guy is gonna know. You're gonna know right off the bat if that guy is a family-oriented guy. Can he put some meat on the grill and say, "Hey, we all going outside, putting some lawn chairs out here. We finna make this thing work as a family, and the blended family. We finna play games in the house. We finna do." So if that person is so standoffish, he's not for the family. You gotta make that decision. Right? You gotta be like, well, but he make good love, but he ain't got nothing. But what about your world? You know what I'm saying? And then soon as something happened, he don't even acknowledge that y'all even had kids, or y'all even raised these kids together. Come on, y'all know the red flags. If the guy's not good for you or your family, make a decision now. Don't wait 6, 7, 10 years, and the boy been hating him for 6, 7, 10 years.
Yes, please don't wait that long.
Come on,
because
you're gonna know it. Stop playing, y'all. So, y'all know the game.
I see we got a question.
Yeah.
Dating when you don't have kids. So I don't have kids, and there's times where you're meeting somebody and you're trying to go through kind of your checklist of things that you're looking for. For myself, I like kids, so I've never been one to say, "Hey, I'm not going to date somebody with kids." Although I don't have kids, I think I would be a great dad. And
that's a good
I'm cool. I'm kind of cool, So I like to do everything. So we gonna have fun. We gonna play games. We gonna go having cool stuff. But at the same time, I feel like if we gotta have those conversations, those pimp conversations, I call them, where we have to make a point to have an understanding, and it has to be something that's learned from maybe a situation that we're going through. I kind of want to have somebody I can drop gems to. So, and that's kind of like where my passion is when it comes to fitness and just helping people, doing this health and wellness fair at TSU come November. Let's create a platform where we can drop gems and do all those things for those growing and strong minds.
And I'll throw another. I know how much time we got, so I'll throw another quick gem out there, guys. I'm speaking for the men now. When was the last time you actually went to a parenting meeting at school without the wife or significant other? graduation for that daughter, something like a field trip with that daughter, an Olympics with that daughter in track and field. Man, when's the last time you said, babe, you know what? I got it today. Go get your nails done. Go do something else. I got baby girl. I won't have to work today. Let me be the one that be there and go sit in with her at lunch. Cause I mean, that's one of the things I used to do, with my kids. It's like, I'm gonna go sit with you at lunch. I want to go to your graduation. I want to show my kids like, I
want to do the science project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to do the volcano rockets. And blow up rockets and all that.
I built rockets. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know what's wrong with some of these dudes out here, but
do better, man. Do better with the stuff and let the women sit back for a little bit and just literally go
step
up
and show out
parent-teacher meetings and be a part of their lives, man. So. Again, I guess we're ready for a break, but man, y'all.
So we getting the signal it's break time. So we're gonna take 5 real quick. My glass needs some replenishing, and again, this is the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang, and we're gonna be right back. Welcome back to the Black Exchange with the Salt and Pepper Gang. I'm your host Terrence.
I'm Big L.
You heard it. So. Man, we just having a real conversation talking about love, parenting, dating with kids, dating on both sides of that. So, I don't have any kids.
I have 2 beautiful girls. Yes. I love my babies. And, I'll say I have more than 1 kid. Anybody that I've ever been involved with, they all my kids. So it's about between 13, 7, carry the 1, remainder 6. So I'm about 9 in.
I mean, when you love kids, I mean, it's in your heart, and it's not something that you can hide. You can't fake that. Absolutely. Right? So I mean, if you're wondering if somebody is going to connect with your kids, then it should be something that you shouldn't have to question. You should be able to see that. Hopefully,
and say something. If you know that person is not for your kid. Man, listen.
Speak up. Be like, my God. I like you, but that's not gonna work. So we can't work, unfortunately. And save yourself and that person the stress and the drama having to go through that later on down the road.
And then secondly, we talked about the next topic was abuse, dealing with how if you were in a new relationship and you seen a form of abuse. Say something, say something. You don't have to be no superhero and approach the guy, because you never know what he might be, a Crip blood. You don't want to run up on nothing you don't know anything about. So have the conversation, not only with that child, but with the mom as well. And if you can have the sit down with the parent and he's pretty logical about, sit down, it's like, man, this is not the way to go, So and then women speak up at the end of the day.
Hey, fellas, speak up.
Man.
There's been something trending where a young lady was hit with the brick.
I seen it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now, I did see a beginning part of that that showed her running up and smacking some guy in the face. Now, in hindsight, please don't put your hands on somebody expecting for them not to respond. On the other hand, as a man, if I see a woman being touched, disrespected, manhandled, I'm gonna step in. We gonna have to throw down. Now, again, don't
put me in a situation.
In danger.
Yeah, man.
And don't act like motherfuckers won't shoot you jumping in a fight with them and their girlfriend. So, be intelligent and be smart when you do those kind of things, and be aware of your surroundings. Don't do nothing that's gonna get you shot. But at the same time, man up, and if it's you and 4 of your friends and it's just one dude, I think the 4 of y'all could take old boy and make that happen. And stop being these weak punks. Right. I'm gonna say, stop being the punks, man. It's that part.
and for me on this, and we go back to the first thing about love and parenting. If that person do have kids, you accept the package, man. It's not a one-sided thing of that woman was so fine, blah 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 blah. I don't even care. She could have 13 kids. I didn't care. That has nothing to do with that world of you guys coming together and bringing great chemistry and you saying, man, I'm accepting everything about you. you're gonna know that right off the bat. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Never walk into a situation where you look at life and you say, man, nah, she got 5 kids. Man, what I'm gonna do with 5 kids? I got 4 of my own. You can't look at it like that.
I mean, there's some great women out there with 5, 6 kids, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
You know, I'm not one to judge nobody.
Right.
So regardless of what your situation, I'll always say, just because somebody necessarily isn't for you doesn't make them a bad person. Right. So, you know, there's somebody for everybody, but you know, when you're out there, be truthful. If you got 7 kids, don't say you got 2 kids and then, you know, surprise, you know, when I come over, it's 20 of us in there. You know what I mean? So
now, if you got 7 kids with 8 baby daddies, I'm sorry. How you get 8 baby daddies with 7 kids? Let's start there. You know, but at the end of the day, come on, y'all.
Hey, you know,
I need a man to take care of me.
Decisions and consequences.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
You know.
You have to look at it in all the aspects. But man, love is love, man. And you know, we always talk about the communication thing. We always talk about love, and women want to be loved, men want to be respected, and all that stuff. And then we talk about kids who are disrespectful to these new men. That's you. Right.
So that's one other aspect is, ladies, and guys, if you have bad, unruly kids, just know that they will run off that other person. Nobody wants to deal with that type of situation because that's rough. You can't discipline like you might necessarily want to. There's a tightrope of, hey, I don't want to be the bad guy coming in here. And hopefully it's just a place where there's some respect and some boundaries in there so that you can focus on the relationship, you know, not trying to discipline kids.
Don't be disrespectful. Right. Period. No man or no woman should be disrespected. Let alone you gotta watch it. You know, the one thing I would tell my kids before they go to school or go back anywhere is make good choices. Make good choices. And I won't say who taught me that, but it was one of the things that as soon as they walk out that door, they need to have an impact in their mind that when they make this choice of doing something that they know is wrong, but you telling them over and over and over again, you know the consequences of making good choices, making bad choices, that there's going to be consequences. So we as parents gotta, oh my God, we gotta do better.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That has a lot to do with faith. Mm-hmm. You know, having a spiritual foundation where those things are kind of taught growing up. Mm-hmm. You know, have respect for not just yourself but for your elders. Mm-hmm. You know, speak a certain way and carry yourself with pride, right? Because, you know, once you don't have pride for yourself, I mean, how are you gonna expect somebody else to?
Right. And I give one, my brother, man. I have a twin, by the way, that literally he'll drop at a dime and pray. He'll pray on a step, man. If he just led to do it, he's just one of those people that's like, nope, I need to pray for you. Why did he just dig that hole right there? Man, let me pray for you. Yeah. And he'll just do it. Now, will I do it 24/7? No. Would I bless the food? Absolutely. When I'm led to do it, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I want to do it. I want my significant other, wife, whoever that person would, to see that I'm spiritually led to be a spiritual head over my family.
Meet you somebody who wants to pray with you. Whew, now, I understand that's not for kids. I understand that's not for everybody.
Right.
But meet you somebody who wants to pray with you, that you can do it and not feel some type of way, whether it's over your meal. Because I pray no matter where I'm at. I don't care if I'm in, you know.
Don't matter. I'm eating noodles. Pray.
Yes.
Because you don't understand when people off the ground.
Be thankful. You never know when you don't have that opportunity to eat them noodles, you know.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Tomorrow, who knows what tomorrow brings. So
absolutely.
We got this show coming up in Atlanta.
Yes.
So
yes.
More house. Next month, the 16th. We're gonna be out there speaking to these young men. Planting seeds, dropping gems, you know. And
we're going live too. I think we're gonna go live on that too. We need to go live. Everybody need to see that stuff.
Right.
So we need to make sure that you guys are tuning in. This could probably be one of our biggest shows, What Women Want Tour. So we would definitely want you guys to be a part of that and ask the questions. even when we're done with it, I know we're going to be on a panel, the ones who are actually going to be speaking on it, but it's gonna all the input that you guys, man, y'all need to see that. Everybody's gonna see. It's gonna be a special treat, not only just for us being there, but for the kids that we're gonna entertain and talk to, and be able for them to question us about, the reality of life, what we've been through, man. We got married men, we got single men, we got dating men, we got family men, we got everybody you can think of is gonna be on this panel. So be ready for a treat, man. I'm excited.
So, it's one of those opportunities, like, that's gratifying to me. When you plant seeds and you never know when those seeds come back to harvest.
Man.
I was just speaking this, manifest these things and life can be amazing as you want it to be. You're going to go through trials and tribulations, whether it's through your job or your relationship. Or just life, make sure your kung fu is strong, y'all.
Meditation, motivation, baby.
And faith, and faith without work. So put in your work, go plant seeds.
But, in the end, I want you guys to understand that man, parenting, golly, is a big part of where we are. And we need to make sure that we as adults are doing better in the dating world to get into, hey, how many kids you have.
Set the example.
Man. What are we going to do, man? Because these kids these days, and then my final point is we are a group that's mentoring kids to do better because there are parents who are lacking the knowledge and giving them to these kids. Pulling up your pants, wearing them on your butt, tying a tie, doing all the stuff that we need to do or be teaching our kids as a youth. Not till they 18, 19 years. Now it's time for them to get a job and they don't even have a suit.
Right.
That's why we partner up and have these guys to chip in and do proms and show these guys that, man, look, Damien and Rico's and Big Kev's and all these guys.
You don't gotta be like everybody else. You can be the difference and you can set the example. Just because.
Man.
Just because.
Yeah.
And that can be a powerful thing, that can be very contagious.
Yes.
Walk in love.
So yeah. So watch, man, follow us. Man, we put out content all the time about the mentorships. We're not just guys that look good in suits. I want y'all to understand that. Please understand, watch what we do. Morehouse is gonna be one of our biggest events. Watch it. Be a part of it. Go tell your kids to tune in to the streaming and whatever. And so y'all can understand why we talking to these kids and having these conversations about making their lives better and what happens after college and how should you approach life. So you have to look at it that way. And man, we're here to make an impact, not just on kids around us, but the world. Yeah. We're coming to a town and city near you. And if you
got a reason, please reach out. You can the official Salt and Pepper Gang.
Absolutely. On
Instagram. You can find me, Terrence_Wright with the number 1 on Instagram, TikTok.
And I'm at Big L_. Yeah, 610_ Big L, man. Look me up. Me up.
So we need everybody else's help. We're all about collaborating, working together. We are stronger together, I promise you. The Black Exchange, the Salt and Pepper Gang, y'all. Come. Make sure that you like and subscribe down at the bottom. Please comment. Let us know how we did. If you got questions, again, we're going to start doing the questions. So videotape your question and send that into us.
Yes.
So that's
That's big. That's going to be transition for us, man.
So,
y'all better recognize that, man. That's big.
Let us know.
Absolutely.
All right. Next time, y'all. All right. Bartender.
Right?